Hello and welcome back to Football Daily, where today we have made up a team of the best players to never win the World Cup. Goalkeeper, Oliver Kahn. We start with German shot-stopper Oliver Kahn. He has had a tremendous career, winning 8 Bundesliga titles, 6 German Cups and the Champions League. Kahn's aggressive style and die-on-the-line attitude made him one of the most successful German players in recent history, earning the accolade of best keeper in Europe on a record 4 occasions. Kahn became the first choice keeper for the German side just after the '98 World Cup and went on to become an integral player for Die Mannschaft. But then he went on to produce one of his worst ever performances in the lead up to the 2002 World Cup, when he shipped 5 goals against England in the qualifiers. Despite going on to win the qualification playoff against Ukraine, the battering at the hands of the Three Lions will always haunt him. And after the unconvincing performances in qualification, Kahn was motivated to right his wrongs in South Korea and Japan. And he didn't disappoint, as he only conceded 3 goals during the whole competition, bearing in mind that 2 of them came in the final against Brazil. And despite the fact his nation failed to win and was branded as inconsistent throughout the tournament, Kahn was almost impenetrable. He kept 5 clean sheets throughout the tournament and was rewarded with a golden ball for his efforts, the first keeper in history to do so. Centre-back, Sol Campbell. Sol Campbell is definitely one of England's best defenders in recent history. His career spanned 20 years in the Premier League and 11 years on the international stage. Campbell is mostly remembered for his defensive contribution to the invincible Arsenal side of 03-04. Well, that and his never-ending slide tackle against Croatia. He received his first team call-up to the Three Lions in 1998 and went on to become the second youngest national captain at just 23 years and 248 days. The centre-back was at the heart of the golden generation, which included my boy David Beckham, Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard. This was a side that was tipped to bring the glory days back to England, but they failed miserably. The furthest they got in the competition was the quarter-finals, and with such a star-studded team, this was way below expectation. In 2002, Campbell was named in the team of the tournament, and in 2006, he became the only player to have represented England at 6 consecutive major tournaments. Impressive stats, but not as impressive as a World Cup would be. Centre-back, Ronald Koeman. Koeman has not always been the serious face in the dugout you see today. Back in his day, he was actually regarded as one of the most prolific defensively minded players in history. He scored 225 goals in 647 appearances, which is an all-time record for a defender. And with his intelligent play, he became a very well-rounded defender, distributing the ball extremely well from the back. Koeman featured heavily at the Euros in 1988, where his side went on to be victorious, and he scored a crucial goal in the semi-finals before his team beat the Soviet Union 2-0 in the final. Unsurprisingly, he was named in the team of the tournament, and after winning a treble with PSV in the same season, Koeman had the world at his feet. However, he was never able to replicate this form at the World Cup. In '94, he captained his side to the World Cup, and with the likes of Ruud Gullit, Van Basten and Dennis Bergkamp in the squad, it is truly astonishing to think that they never won the tournament. Koeman finished his international career with 78 appearances and 14 goals, a very impressive return for a centre-back. But personal achievements aside, the furthest he got in a World Cup was the quarter-finals. Disappointing when you think about the huge talents he played with. Centre-back, Paolo Maldini. Maldini made his debut for AC Milan at the age of just 16 and was at the heart of their defence for the next 24 years, winning 7 Serie A titles and 5 Champions Leagues in the process. And on the international stage, he entered the first team fold at the age of 19. His first taste of World Cup football came at Italia '90, where he appeared in all 7 matches and helped Italy set a new competition record of 5 consecutive clean sheets. The Azzurri actually didn't concede until the semi-finals, where they met Diego Maradona's Argentina and unfortunately crashed out on penalties. In 1994, Maldini became the Italian captain and he led his team to the final in America with a flurry of good defensive performances. Despite the Azzurri being plagued with injuries and suspensions, the fullback put in a storming performance against tournament favourites Brazil, taking them to extra time. They eventually lost on penalties again, but Maldini was named in the team of the tournament, an accolade his father had received 32 years earlier. Unfortunately, this was the closest Maldini would ever get to lifting football's most coveted prize, as Italy failed to progress past the quarter-finals in '98 and 2002, before Maldini retired at the age of 34. He is the Azzurri's most capped player and most capped captain, and with such tremendous ability, it is a shock that he never won a World Cup, never mind any international tournament at all. Right mid, Cristiano Ronaldo. One of the best talents in world football today, Cristiano Ronaldo has won everything you can win as an individual, taking home a whopping 5 Ballon d'Ors and being the first player to win 4 European Golden Shoes. He has also won a staggering 25 trophies throughout his career, and as such is one of the most decorated players to ever play the game. But there is one trophy that has consistently eluded him: the World Cup. Ronaldo received his first senior cap for Portugal in 2003 and was integrated into the team for Euro 2004, where he really made a name for himself. He recorded 2 goals and 2 assists, and despite losing in the final to Greece, he made it onto the team of the tournament. Fast forward to 2006 and Ronaldo was smashing in 7 goals in the World Cup qualifiers. But at the tournament he stole the headlines for different reasons. In the match against England he was accused of trying to influence the referees to send off Wayne Rooney, as well as winking after his former United teammate was dismissed. Moving on to 2010 and 2014 World Cups, Portugal crashed out in the early stages due to poor team performances. And even though Ronaldo was still recording goals, his team were letting him down. But there is new hope for the Portuguese this time round after winning Euro 2016. Could this be Ronaldo and Portugal's year? Probably not. Centre mid, Zico. It's a bit strange for a Brazilian to feature on this list, as they have won the World Cup 5 times more than any other country. However, the 1982 Brazil side is widely regarded as the best team to never win the competition. A key player for that fantastic side was the magical midfielder Zico. Often referred to as the White Pele, Zico is one of the most skillful finishers the game has ever seen, as well as being one of the best passers and possibly the best player in the late 70s. He represented the Brazilians at 3 World Cups and was one of the players of their golden generation. He spent the majority of his career in Brazil, playing for Club Flamengo, where he scored 399 goals in 580 appearances. The attacking midfielder was named as the South American Player of the Year on 3 occasions and World Player of the Year once. However, with his national side he couldn't get past the World Cup quarter-finals despite scoring a staggering 52 goals in 72 appearances for the Little Canaries. Centre mid, Johan Cruyff. One of the most respected individuals in world football has to be Johan Cruyff, not only for his outstanding ability on the pitch but for also executing the footballing philosophy made by Rinus Michels of Total Football. As a player he won 3 Ballon d'Ors, 8 league titles with Ajax and created the Cruyff turn, a skill that is adored all over the world today. He made his international debut in a draw against Hungary in 1966 and kept his place in the side even though there were controversy around his kit. Nevertheless, he was dominating world football with Ajax and the Dutch national side. Heading into the 1974 World Cup, the Netherlands were confident that their total football could win them the competition for the first time. Cruyff played a revolutionary free role in the forward line and led his side to the final, but they were defeated by West Germany, who later admitted that the Netherlands side were the best team they had ever faced. Unsurprisingly, he was named as the player of the tournament and went on to be pivotal in the 1978 World Cup qualifiers. However, he retired from international football a year before the competition. The Netherlands ended up in second place again, and Cruyff later revealed that he did not take part in the World Cup because his family were subject to kidnapping attempts. A real shame for an extraordinary player to go out like that. Left mid, Lionel Messi. The Argentinian magician has had one of the most decorated careers in football and is probably the best player the world has ever seen. His 28 trophies for Barcelona are backed up with 5 Ballon d'Ors and an absolutely filthy highlight reel. But he still hasn't managed to bag an international trophy other than the Olympic gold in 2008. The Barcelona superstar has been a revelation for La Albicelestes since his debut in August 2005 and has broken almost every national record since. He is currently the all-time top goal scorer for Argentina with 61 goals, as well as being the youngest player to go to and score at a World Cup for Argentina. He may be the best Argentinian since the great Maradona, but his record at international competitions is far from good. He has reached 3 Copa America finals but has failed to win any of them, and his loss to Germany in the 2014 World Cup final summed up his luck on the grand stage. That year he had an absolutely amazing tournament, scoring 4 goals and creating the most chances across the competition, but it wasn't quite good enough. Following another disappointing loss in the Copa America final 2 years later, where Messi missed the decisive penalty, he decided to retire from international football. But a campaign was launched by the Albiceleste faithful that saw the maestro return to the national side. With his eyes firmly set on this summer's tournament, Messi has stated that it is now or never and that he is determined to lead Argentina to their first international silverware since 1993. Striker, Eusebio. Eusebio was considered by many as one of the greatest footballers of all time. During his career he scored 733 goals in 745 appearances. That is absolutely ridiculous. Known for his blistering pace and great athleticism, he was generally regarded as the first world-class African player. In his club career he led Benfica to 11 domestic titles and 4 European Cups, a hefty haul of trophies for the former Ballon d'Or winner. He made his debut for the Portuguese first team in 1961 against Luxembourg and featured in his first major tournament at the 1966 World Cup. And the forward single-handedly dragged his side through the tournament, scoring 9 goals. But unfortunately this could only take Portugal to third place. In actual fact, this was the one and only World Cup that Eusebio featured in, which is pretty remarkable when you consider how good a player he was. He was rewarded for his brilliant display in England in 1966 with the Golden Boot and featured in the tournament's all-star team, a bit of consolation for missing out on the trophy itself. He finished his international career with 41 goals in just 64 matches and is easily the best player Benfica have ever had. Striker, Marco van Basten. Known for one of the most famous goals of all time with his ridiculous strike at Euro 1988, Van Basten started his career at Ajax where he quickly became a town favourite, finishing as a top scorer in the Eredivisie for 4 consecutive seasons. During his time there he helped them win the league on 3 occasions as well as a UEFA Cup before moving to AC Milan in 1987. And Italy is where Van Basten really established himself as one of the world's best, winning 3 Serie A titles and 2 Champions Leagues with the Rossoneri. He also won 3 Ballon d'Ors and a record 3 UEFA Player of the Year awards. Although he had an incredibly impressive club career, the Dutch superstar could not replicate the form on the national stage. He was introduced to the first team after impressing at the 1983 FIFA World Youth Championships alongside Ruud Gullit, Rijkaard and Ronald Koeman. This young team failed to qualify for the 1984 World Cup, but 2 years later Van Basten led them to the European Championship, scoring 5 goals and being named player of the tournament in 1988. But this would be his only international silverware as the Netherlands exited the 1990 World Cup in the second round, and due to his continuous ankle injuries he was never able to play for his country again. What is more shocking, however, is the fact that he never managed to score a goal at a World Cup finals. Striker, Raul. Los Blancos legend Raul became the youngest player to play for Real Madrid when he made his debut in 1994, and with 550 appearances he is the club's most capped player. Raul is also the only player in history to be named UEFA Club Forward of the Year 3 times in a row, winning it in 2000, 2001 and 2002. Raul earned his first international call-up in 1996 in a World Cup qualification match after impressing throughout the youth teams, scoring 17 goals in 21 appearances. He then went on to represent the senior squad 102 times, scoring 44 goals in the process, leaving him as Spain's second best goal scorer. For his exceptional loyalty to Spanish football, he was made captain in 2002 up until 2006. Although he was an incredible talent, he was never able to hit the same heights at international level than he achieved at his club. But things never went quite right on the international stage for Raul. And despite having an extensive trophy cabinet at club level, his international trophy cabinet is rather barren. In fact, the quarterfinals would be the furthest he would ever get at a European Championship or a World Cup, before deciding to retire from international duty in 2006. Funnily enough, after he was omitted from the squad, the Spanish team went on to win the World Cup and the Euros back to back. Surely a very bitter pill to swallow for the Madrid legend.
Congratulations, you've reached the end of the video. We hope you enjoyed it. And if you're looking for more great content, why don't you click in this box here? And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe.